what stood out to me was a parent's desire and their passion to make sure that the story of Alex was told. Someone who went to work to care for veterans, someone who was a valued coworker, someone who relished and lived in this state in a big way, whether it was outdoor activities or being down there on the street.
And he was also someone who went out there to protest ICE doing their job from picking up illegal immigrant criminals and taking them out of our country, so like that everyday Americans, especially women and young girls, wouldn't have their lives taken away from them. But that wasn't good enough. So now you guys are going to make this guy a martyr. Okay? You politicians on the left, you always got something to say when somebody on your side gets hurt or gets put on the spot. But yet when there's mothers right now and fathers, children that are crying because their mothers, their sisters, their nieces, their granddaughters are not coming home, not one of you has a damn thing to say. No press briefings, no talking to the families, nothing about, you know what, we stand with you, we're sorry for what happened. No, none of that. None of that, because it was the people on your side, the people that you let in, the people that you want, like in your states, like in Minnesota, that committed the crimes, and yet you have somebody out there who's supposed to be, supposedly, this exceptional man. Okay, he's supposed to be out there helping veterans. He's supposed to be a nurse or whatever the case is and helping out society. What was he doing? He was out there protesting to stop ICE agents from picking up criminals. Once again, he put himself in that situation, just like Renee Good put herself in that situation. And now you guys want to make it seem as if, oh, we have to feel so sorry for him. Now listen, I think that every life is precious, okay? If you're a criminal, I mean, that has to be figured out depending on the kind of crimes you commit. Not saying that anybody's life should be taken away. But you people on the left have let this happen. You, Tim Walz, let this happen. You, the governor of Minnesota, let this happen. You and your goons in Minnesota let this happen. And now you want to go and move the goalposts and make it seem as if, you know what President Trump is doing, what his agents are doing, is un-American. What's un-American is that there are countless illegal immigrants in your state that are trying to evade capture from ICE. There are billions and billions of dollars that have been stolen in a giant money laundering scheme perpetrated mostly by the Somalian community in your state. You have all these protesters going out there just wreaking havoc, and yet you want to come out and say that all this could end if President Trump stops his people from doing their job. And then somebody gets hurt, or in this case somebody's life is taken away, sadly. Now you want to sound all somber, making it seem like, you know what, we didn't ask for this. Well, you know what, the American victims, the women and children whose lives have been taken away, they didn't ask for that either. But it was the people on your side that let that happen. Just like when you guys had the riots, okay, you let your city burn down. Your own wife, okay, salivated at the fact, the way she explained herself, the way she opened up the window and sat on the sofa and was just breathing in all the air of the chaos of the cars burning, the tires burning, all the fires burning. You people are nothing but a bunch of sadist masochists is what you are. That man, if he was so noble, I'm not saying that he wasn't, but you know what? He basically thought that it was a better idea to go out there and protest ICE instead of doing his job Instead of, thinking about, what, let me rethink this, because there are a lot more people that need my services. Like, I don't know, his job as a nurse, maybe his volunteer work with veterans, or whatever it was that he was doing, acting like Mother Teresa, because that's what it seems like he was in your eyes. But no, he decided to arm up, go into a protest, and he got himself into a situation, and it cost him his life. Just like Renee Nicole Good. You people are unbelievable. And the chaos that keeps going on, it's all your fault, Tim Walz. It was your fault back in the last riots that nearly burned down the whole your city in Minnesota. And this is your fault now. And you know it's your fault. You, your mayor, your attorney general, whoever's involved, it's all your fault. It's not ICE's fault. It's not the president's fault. It's nobody's fault but your fault for all this that's happening in Minnesota. Let's get into this, people. Here we go. Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. This video that I'm dropping tonight it's going to be my thoughts on the situation that happened in Minnesota with another shooting of a protester that pretty much everyone on the left is losing their minds over. Okay, something that could have been avoided, but yet they want to just go and point the finger once again, even though they're the ones that have been starting all this chaos. And someone decided, okay, to take it upon themselves and participate in one of the protests against ICE from doing their job, and it cost him his life. But that's not what the left wants people to believe. And even though there is so much proof out there of how Tim Walz, okay, the Mayor Frey, okay, and all the other top-notch leftist goons in Minnesota, who are basically letting all this happen, the left still won't bend to that. They're like, nope, there's nothing to see here. Okay, this is not us, this is you. This is you because you are coming into our city and you are basically uncovering crime and fraud, illegal immigration, and we don't want that. We want this upside down world type of living in Minnesota, and if the rest of the country doesn't like it, too bad. We're on the right side of history, you're not. I mean, it's insane the way this is just going on and on and on. And more of these people on the left think that they are so emboldened that they could just pretty much say and do whatever they want, causing people trouble. I mean, even getting to the point that in parts of Minnesota, that literally, if they see a certain vehicle, they literally think they have the right to stop people, and all the footage is out there, and start questioning just everyday citizens, asking them who they are. These are actual people in the streets, stopping people who are driving, as if they have a say-so, as if that is the norm in America. You keep talking about that the ICE agents are acting like the Gestapo, and yet here are you people stopping other people in the street, innocent people, asking them for their credentials. You're the ones out there attacking ICE agents from doing their job, attacking federal officers from doing their job, and yet you're still trying to say the people on the right are the ones acting like the fascists and the Nazis. You're the one out there disrupting hotels, businesses, whatever the case is, because you feel that you have the right to. Again, you're the ones out there acting like the Nazis. And then, instead of the chief of policing, you know what, wait a minute, I took an oath. No. What's he doing? He's basically listening to his governor and telling his boys to stand down. So let me get this straight. President Trump doesn't have the right to hire people like ICE agents to go and do a job, provide a service to clean up America from all these illegal immigrant criminals. Okay? You're saying that's like being a dictator, but yet the governor of Minnesota is basically telling the police force to stand down and not help and not even give ICE agents just a little bit of room from the ravenous crowd so they can just go and pick up the people that they need to pick up. And that doesn't make you a dictator? Talk about projection. It's insane. I'm going to play a couple of clips, and there's something I want to show you people, because even the deporter-in-chief, Barack Obama, has something to say, and it really pissed me off, and it's going to piss you guys off too. But let's listen to a little more of what Tampon Tim has to say. Here we go.
Michael and Susan, our deepest sympathies, but you have my commitment to continue to tell that story. So now we've got 2 Minnesotans dead. We didn't had time to start telling Renee's story of a poet and a mother and a bright spirit, and now we're telling Alex's story. So my question is, what's the plan?
A poet and a mother. Gosh, I tell you. You know, a poet and a mother. And yet this mother supposedly dropped her kids off at school, or one of her kids, and decided to go protest, and it cost her life. You know, forget about the thing about a poet. I mean, it's whatever. But if she was a real mother, again, just like this guy, she had a responsibility. She should have thought about her children first, and she didn't. She thought about other people who probably wouldn't have given a damn about her. She thought about other people that she didn't even know, and it cost her life. Just like this guy who just lost his life. Like I said, instead of thinking about his responsibility just for one of the things that he holds a title to, which is being a nurse, instead of thinking about, you know what, I have patients that need me, that are gonna need me, that I could do more for. No, he decided to strap up and go out and protest, and it cost him his life. But I just love the way Tim Walz is putting out, basically, in my eyes, he's putting out a eulogy. Okay? And all you people on the left want to leave online, on the social media platforms, and on the news, mainstream media, and all that. You're trying to put out these eulogies for these 2 people. Where's all the eulogies for all the innocent women and children that have been raped and murdered by illegal immigrants? Where are their eulogies? You say you talk, you know, you're all about the humanity. You're on the right side of history. Where are their eulogies coming from the left? I'll hold my breath.
And Donald Trump, what is the plan? What do we need to do to get these federal agents out of our state? You thought fear, violence, and chaos is what you wanted from us, and you clearly underestimated the people of this state and nation. We are tired, but we're resolved. We're peaceful, but we'll never forget. We're angry, but we won't give up hope. And above all else, we are clearly unified.
Okay. Lie, 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 lie. You don't speak for all the people in the United States. 77 plus million people voted against this bullshit. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, you people are anything but peaceful, or have been peaceful. It's disgusting the way this man could come out and say, okay, that they're out there peacefully protesting, as if we're all blind to all the actual video that's coming out every single day by the thousands, not by the hundreds, not by the dozen, by thousands of different people putting their videos on social media of all the riots and carnage that you people on the left are committing. And not just in Minnesota, it's all over. California, Chicago, New York, you name it. You're out there spitting on people, you're throwing frozen water bottles at people, just attacking people, beating people up, chasing people, tormenting people. I mean, even getting into the faces of people when they're with their children. I tell you, this is the work of the enemy. This is not a battle against flesh and blood. This is definitely a spiritual battle that's going on, people. Now listen, I'm all for peace, and I really pray that a lot of these people will wake up, that God will touch all their hearts. But at the same time, I'm not going to be naive. There are people put into positions in life, and you know what? This is their calling. Their calling is to go out there and destroy things. That's what I believe. How we react to it is that's another story. But to sit back and make it seem like, you know what, we're not the ones doing this. No, you people did do this. Everything that's happening with ICE agents, everything that's happening with all these illegals getting picked up and kicked out the country has everything to do with the left. Every single thing to do with the left. And some people on the right. And that was when you people decided to vote in Biden, and you stood by him as he opened up the floodgates at the border, and you people were okay with it because that's what you wanted. And now that there's a new sheriff in town, you don't like it. You're trying to project and point the finger. Republicans didn't ask for all these illegal immigrants to come into the country. Republicans didn't ask for all the Somalians and the Somalian community to go and commit fraud that is estimated in the billions. And not only in Minnesota, it's also in Maine. If you guys look at the video that I put out 2 days ago, you'll see. And it also goes to other states, blue states, mind you, even trickling into some of the red states that's being investigated. Republican voters didn't vote for that. I know I didn't. No, you people on the left. You voted for that. As a matter of fact, many of you are taking part of it. Playing into it. Coordinating. Helping each other out because that money's flowing. That taxpayer money is flowing. And like I said, finally President Trump said, you know what? This is not what's going to happen. Since day one, he already said what he was going to do. You people knew what he was going to do. And again, instead of just telling your side, listen, let them do their job. No, it's like, no, go out there and fight. Stand strong. We're resilient. Yada, yada, yada. Dog whistling. From the podium. As you're giving your eulogy. Once again, for a man who should have known better, but he put himself in a situation that cost him his life. You know, I was going through stuff, people, and I'll get to this in a second. There's one clip here I'm going to show you right here. This is where the supposed National Guard has come in. Okay, voter vets put this out on X. Okay. And it shows the National Guard. It shows the National Guard just standing in the snow, giving out donuts and coffee, whatever. And he says, non-mask Minnesota National Guard are handing out hot chocolate, coffee, and donuts to protesters. One simple act has de-escalated the situation and helped gain the trust of people. See the difference between professional soldiers and the pretend tough guys in CBP and ICE. So they want to, my thing is this. Okay, I'll play it real quick. It's only a couple of seconds.
It's almost Valentine's Day. We'll get a shot of her.
But thank you all.
Cup of coffee, sir? First, do you want on the end?
Okay, I'll be the first one to say. Me personally, I'm disgusted with it. This is not what our taxpayer money goes to have the National Guard go out there and give out freaking donuts, coffee, and hot chocolate to win over the masses. And you know what? And even if this is what Tim Walz told them to do in order to calm down the protest, why couldn't you do this without them and have the protest calm down before that? Because that's not what you wanted. Okay? Especially after Nick Shirley uncovered all the fraud, the daycare and healthcare fraud, again, that is in the billions of dollars. It's funny how all the protests ramped up even more. And then you're going to have these people, whoever this is, come out and say, look how simple it is. Let's just coddle the masses. Let's get the National Guard trained military soldiers to give out donuts, coffee, and hot chocolate. It's insane. But it gets better. Then we got Call to Activism. Okay, put out this post on X. Okay. Unfreaking believable. It says all the deaths, all the protests. Hold on one second. All the deaths? What deaths? Supposedly there's only 2. Okay. 2 deaths. I know you're not talking about all the deaths on the right side, but I'll digress because a lot of these victims, I should say pretty much all the victims who fell to illegal immigrant criminals, we don't know their political status. And to tell you the truth, I really don't care what their political status was. Because they're victims. Their lives were taken from them. Okay, but I'm going to digress on that just for a little bit. I'm going to get back to that. But this knuckle dragger puts out all the deaths, all the protests, all the chaos will literally stop in 2 seconds if Trump gets ICE the F out of Minnesota. So what does he do? He is sending Tom Homan and more goons. The chaos is the point. Are you people not understanding that no President Trump will not stop? Even though this is what you people want on the left, you want ICE out because you want the illegal immigrant criminals to stay. This is not what the vast majority of Americans want. You do not speak for America. You may speak for your party. You may speak for the knuckle draggers on your side, but you don't speak for all the people in America. So you can have it your way. You think that all this will stop, which is what you want because you want ICE and all the agents out of the blue states. Well, guess what? Had you not voted for open borders, we wouldn't have this problem. So yes, it is unbelievable to you people. I understand that because you people's brain cells, you probably only have like 2 combined all together. President Trump stood 10 toes down and said he was going to stand on business. And this is why he won the presidency. Because the vast majority of the people in America wanted this. But again, you're making it seem as if, you know what? Just like Tim Walz, it'll all stop if you would just ignore all the chaos and corruption and just walk away. Well, guess what? No, it's not. It's not going to be like that. Me, in my opinion, I think President Trump needs to hire another 100,000 agents and send them throughout the country. That's the way I see it. But leave it up to people like, from call to activism. Where was your activism? Again, as a matter of fact, let me just go back to this picture. See this picture right here? See all these women, all these young girls, these kids? All taken at the hands of illegal immigrant criminals. Where was their activism? Call to activism. Where's their protest? Huh? Who's consulting their families? Look at these look, 1, 2, 3, 4 little kids. Young. The rest of them are preteens, a couple of grown women here. Matter of fact, this woman right here, and I'm sorry I don't have all the names, people, forgive me. She was taken away from her kids. Okay? Where's the activism for her? Laken Riley, wasn't she a medical student? But no, you people want to come out and say that the other guy that went to the protest with a gun, again, you want to give him a eulogy because he was out there, he was a nurse, he was out there to help people. So was Laken Riley. Her life was taken by an illegal immigrant criminal. Where's her protest? Matter of fact, where's the protest for these 4 kids who could have grown up to become something special in life? God only knows how they could have benefited humanity. But no, you want President Trump to pull out the troops and all the protests will stop. That's what you want. You make it seem as if, you know what, again, and I'm going to keep repeating it, that you people on the right side of history. Whose history? Whose history? The 2 martyrs that you're trying to put on a pedestal? Now, don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm not happy that they're gone. I think it's sad that they lost their lives. But under whose watch did they lose their lives? Under whose rhetoric did they decide to get so damn brainwashed and go out there and thought that it was a good idea to just go and get in the way of agents who are trying to do a job so like that more people like this, okay, won't lose their lives? Because the criminals you see, even though you people are saying another little thing that the president and ICE is only going after black and brown people, they're racist. Okay, if that's how you feel, let's go down this list real quick before I move on to the next one. This girl right here, American black girl, brutally raped and murdered in the worst way. I won't even give the details of how they found her body. Black girl, killed by a Spanish-speaking brown man. Okay? Jocelyn Nungary down here, Spanish girl, killed by 2 Spanish-speaking brown men. Where's her protest? Okay, let's go with, I believe this is, nope, Laken Riley's down here, I believe, or this one right here. Forgive me, people. I'm kind of, there's so many pictures, it's hard to just keep track. But anyway, white girls, same thing. Killed by Spanish-speaking brown men. Are they racist? The people that committed these crimes? Or is it that, you know what, criminals don't care what side of the aisle you stand or what party you vote for? They don't care if you're black or white or brown, Latino, Asian. They don't care. But it's funny how you people care. You care about color. Saying that President Trump and MAGA, that we're all a bunch of racists because all we just want to do is get rid of all the black and brown people that came into this country illegally. Or is it that a vast majority of the people committing these crimes are black and brown. You ever think about that? No, you people don't think. That's the whole freaking problem. I went and came across this. Your fearless black prince, Barack Obama, decided to put out this statement after this. I had to blow it up so you guys can read it. He put it out on January 25th. The deporter-in-chief, okay, which in my opinion, I don't even understand why this man even opens up his damn mouth. It's a statement by President Obama and Mrs. Obama. Whatever. It says, the killing of Alex Preddy is a heartbreaking tragedy. It should also be a wake-up call to every American, regardless of party, that many of our core values as a nation are increasingly under assault. Yeah, we know. So was theirs, but you didn't say a word about that, but I'll continue. Federal law enforcement and immigration agents have a tough job, but Americans expect them to carry out their duties in a lawful, accountable way, and to work with, rather than against, state and local officials to ensure public safety. Yeah, that's the problem. You see, that's what we were trying to do, but since your party, Obama, your boy Biden, didn't take, I don't know, maybe your advice right here when you come out and say, but Americans expect them to carry out their duties in a lawful, accountable way, since under Biden's regime, they weren't allowed to. It cost these people right here their lives. But I'm going to continue because, you know, you're so damn smart, okay? What was it that they said? Oh, he said that he was a constitutional scholar? Yeah, okay. That's not what we're seeing in Minnesota. In fact, we're seeing the opposite. For weeks now, people across the country have been rightly outraged by the spectacle of masked ICE recruits and other federal agents acting with impunity and engaging in tactics that seem designed to intimidate, harass, provoke, and endanger the residents of a major American city. Really? You're going to say all that, and I'm going to keep showing this picture. I hope you're speaking for them too right here. I know you're not. Where was I? Yeah. Okay. Which even the former top lawyer of the Department of Homeland Security in the first Trump administration has characterized as embarrassing, lawless, and cruel, have now resulted in the fatal shootings of 2 U.S. citizens. Yeah, well, you know what? Those were people that put themselves in harm's way trying to protect all the illegal immigrants that basically took these people's lives. Now, the ones that they're going after now, I'm not saying they took these people's lives, these innocent victims' lives. What I'm saying is that it's funny how you can put out a letter like this, okay, but yet every single time one of these victims was shown on the media, how their lives were taken, not one letter from you, not one word from you, Barack, not one. And yet you're going to make it seem that what's going on right now, what President Trump is doing, is an embarrassment? Wow. Where was I? And yet, rather than trying to impose some semblance of discipline and accountability over the agents they've deployed, the president and current administration officials seem eager to escalate the situation, while offering public explanations for the shootings of Mr. Preddy and Renee Good that aren't informed by any serious investigation and that appear to be directly contradicted by video and evidence. Can't make this up, people. This is coming from Barack Obama's mouth. The president who deported more illegals, and no one on the left protested about it. Not one protest. This has to stop. I would hope that after this most recent tragedy, administration officials will reconsider their approach and start finding ways to work constructively with Governor Walz and Mayor Frey, as well as state and local police, to avert more chaos and achieve legitimate law enforcement goals. Well, here's the thing, Barack. President Trump had already told everyone what he was going to do. Number two, he's been asking, very politely, mind you, for help from local law enforcement, governors and mayors, especially in the blue states, and not one of them wants to bend. Have you not been reading the paper? Have you not been watching the news? Oh no, you haven't, because that was always your shtick when you was president, that every time something went down and you was asked about it, did you hear about this? No, I didn't. When did you hear about this? Oh, I read it in the newspaper this morning. I heard it on the news. I don't know anything that my Department of Justice is doing. So now you're going to try to spin this around as if you're even freaking relevant anymore, and make it seem as if, oh no, Trump is not even trying to have anybody cooperate with him, when that's all he's been trying to do. But Gavin Newsom won't cooperate with him. Brandon Johnson won't cooperate with him. Eric Adams didn't want to cooperate with him until, you know, he got into a little bit of trouble, but now he's not mayor anymore. Mamdani already said he's not going to cooperate with him. Who else do we got? Oh, yeah. What's her name? Out in Massachusetts. Boston. That mayor. She's not going to cooperate with him. She already said it. Janet Mills says she's not going to cooperate with him. Tim Walz said he wasn't. Frey said he wasn't. All these governors and mayors that you're talking about, that, you know what, President Trump needs to cooperate with them and their police departments, they're basically telling their police departments to stand down. But you want to go and put out this letter. That's okay. I'll keep reading it. I'll keep reading this garbage. In the meantime, every American should support the draw inspiration from the wave of peaceful protest in Minneapolis. Once again, you're delusional. You're lying. You're filthy. You got a split tongue like the damn snake that you are. None of these protests have been peaceful. That's number one. Even back with the whole George Floyd thing, the Summer of Love, those protests were not peaceful. They nearly burned down Minneapolis. But I'm going to digress on that, because obviously you didn't get the memo. Okay? I'll read it again. In the meantime, every American should support and draw inspiration from the wave of peaceful protests in Minneapolis and other parts of the country. They are a timely reminder that ultimately it's up to each of us as citizens to speak out against injustice, protect our basic freedoms, and hold our government accountable. Well, guess what, Barack? We are. We are speaking out against the injustice. The injustice that cost these people their lives. And we're doing it to protect our basic freedoms, because people like this should still be alive. Not the criminals that killed them. Okay? And yes, we are holding our government accountable. That's why we voted for President Trump, to clean up the mess that you people made. To make sure that people like this and the countless others don't lose their lives. But no. Leave it up to Barack. Okay?
Minutes from just shitting himself.
To make it seem, like I said, like he's relevant. Matter of fact, people left some messages. Okay? And here's the first one that starts off. It's great. Okay? 57 people died in Obama ICE custody. No riots and no protests. They don't care about illegals. They just hate Trump. That's the very first one. And it just goes on and on and on. Oh, and here's this little picture that's going around. Barack Obama gave this man, Tom Homan, a medal. Now Tom Homan is enemy number one. Okay? Enemy number one. But leave it up to Tim Walz to hire the National Guard after President Trump said what he wants to do. It'd be much easier if everybody just stays out of the way, let them do their job. Nope. You want to protest, but now you want to bring in the National Guard. to give out donuts and coffee and hot chocolate. And that's what's calming the protesters down. Like I say, you people are a bunch of sadists and masochists, man. Just when I think that, you know what, I mean, no other words could describe how, no other words could, you can't put any other words to try to describe you people. Other words just keep popping up because it's getting to the point that you people are, it's not about you people being delusional or stupid. It's not about that. This is a spiritual battle. You people need to figure out listen, if you're saying that what you're standing for on your side on the left, that in your mind that's what's right, then hey, that's on you. But this whole thing that's going on, this is a spiritual battle, good against evil. If you people think that you're on the side of good, you are definitely in need of some help. Some serious spiritual, mental help. I know this video is long, I'm ranting. I gotta say what I gotta say because I'm looking at all this. And I'm like, here we go again. As a matter of fact, I was gonna show the video, but I'm not. Some protester bit off an ICE agent's finger. I seen the video myself, I seen the picture. Disgusting. But you people on the right side of history, right? You people on the left just go around biting people's fingers off. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Because that's what good, loving people do. They're so angry, they just want to go out there and just bite somebody like the freaking animal that they are. Why weren't you out there biting off people's fingers and or whatever the case is when these poor women and children, after their lives were taken from them? Where were all you Latino protesters on the left for Jocelyn Nungary? Where are all you black people on the left for this girl right here? I can't remember her name. God forgive me. People forgive me. Okay? Where's the black community? You people on the left protesting for her. Where are you Latinos on the left protesting for Jocelyn Nungary? Where are all you simpy white men and all you damn white Karens on the left for all the white girls? Where are all you people getting together who are protesting for everybody else in the world to come into this country illegally, regardless of race? You're protesting for them to come into the country illegally, regardless of what crimes they have done. You're protesting for them. Why aren't you all together protesting for all these people, all these girls? And there's plenty more. Black, white, Spanish, it doesn't matter. Young, old, doesn't matter. Boy and girl. All innocent victims. This is a spiritual battle. And you people have problems. You people have problems. You really, really do. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Pray for this country. pray for your enemies. Pray for President Trump. And don't forget to pray for all the missing children that they brought across the border. Peace.